Hello, Brooke. I'm Jasmine from Fangirlish, and I already asked you how you are offline, but I'll ask you again, how are you?
I'm great. Nice to meet you, Jasmine.
Nice to meet you too. Also, I love your picture in the background. I just saw that.
That's my art. I did that. I'll show you. Let me show you.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
I'm an artist as well. This is one of my pieces.
Oh, that's beautiful. So
Thank you.
do you sell the stuff you do, or is it just like
I do sell it. Oh, and look, it's a station.
oh,
But yes, I do sell my art. I've kept this one for a little while because I really like her, but she is technically for sale.
is there a name? Like, is there a name for it, or is it
Yeah, it's on Instagram. It's art by Blee. So like my name, so Blee, like
okay?
Brookie.
Is there a name for your painting? Is that what name?
This one's called Mother.
Okay, love it so much. That's beautiful. Okay.
Maybe that's why I like it so much. It reminds me of my mother.
Well,
Because she
then
loves
I
sunflowers.
mean,
So,
don't part with it if you don't feel like you want to part with it.
oh, I love seeing it. I love it bringing joy to other people. So, like
Yeah.
I like to sell them, and other people get to enjoy them too. Then,
Mhm. Okay. Well, I'm gonna look for your art page after this because I want to follow you
yes,
there.
thank you.
Okay. But first off, congratulations on Lick. I just got done talking to Travis a few minutes ago. I loved the movie. It was so cute. And it gave me like all the warm fuzzies that I needed because like everybody needs a feel good movie right now. And Lick did that for me because it was a way for me to take my mind off all things. And it was just a good time. So like what was it about the character of Evelyn that drew you to the role?
I really loved that this character Evelyn is a curvier girl in a sexy role. I love that she is not the stereotypical size zero, and I mean that's a huge thing in Hollywood is that we see a lot of women that are beautiful, stunning, and everyone should be able to be seen, but there's not much representation in a sexy role for someone who has, a little bit more meat on their bones. And I think that it was really important to showcase that as well. So I really loved that about Evelyn. That was the very first impression that I got when I read more about her.
Yeah, and I loved you too. So I think you're beautiful. I think you're gorgeous, by the way. So I was happy to see you because I personally have not read the book yet, but after watching the movie, I want to read the book. So I really didn't know like everything about obviously the character of Evelyn. So now that I am familiar with her, just based off of what the film showed, I want to read more so I can get like a little bit more of her backstory. But did
Yeah.
you? I know that you read the book, and I know that you because Travis said that you guys worked a lot together and used the book as kind of like your guide for everything. Did you ever have any conversations yourself with Kylie Scott while you were filming, or did you just stick to like using the book and like going, having your conversations with Travis about your characters?
I know that Louise had a lot of communication with Kylie before they filmed,
Mm-hmm.
and I think if she had any questions, we really used Louise as like the middle person with Kylie to make sure that we were doing it right. And then Travis and I really just we used the book because it was our Bible. Every question that we possibly could have had for Kylie can be answered in the book anyway. Um, and I think a big thing for Kylie is she really just she trusted Passionflix and she trusted us enough to make the right decisions there on the day, and she approved all the scripts and everything, so she was happy with it. And I just know that we just made sure that like if there were things that we thought, oh, this could be done a little bit truer to the story, truer to the book, it was, we would ask Louise and Louise would be like, yeah, I think so. There was never a time that came where we were like, whoa, we should ask Kylie about that because we were never deviating from the book. We were
Yeah.
always going further into the book. There was never anything that was like deviating from that. The only thing that I think that we did consciously choose to deviate from the book was any comment about her weight.
Yeah.
We chose to not because there is a comment in the book where he says you're getting skinny or whatever, and I think Travis and I both agreed that that doesn't need to be in there.
Yeah, and I'm actually glad about that because it's one of those things where it's like like you said. a curvier girl can be sexy. So it's like you don't have to make her having curves a thing, because you wouldn't they wouldn't do it for a character that's thinner. You know what I'm saying? Like the one
Yeah.
that's not the average body type. They wouldn't be saying like, oh, you're thin. Like they wouldn't do that. Like it's just not a thing. So I'm glad
Yeah.
that they made that you guys worked and made that choice to say we don't need that, because you really
You don't
didn't,
need that.
because
No, and like
it
you
wouldn't
don't.
add anything.
Yeah, and Travis was like, I don't. He didn't feel comfortable, bringing up a woman's weight. Like it's just something that isn't really, done. It was in the book, but the book was also written quite a little while ago.
Hmm.
So it was just something that I think we decided on the day that we were like, "Hmm, that's probably the only thing that we deviated from the book. But everything else was always going back to it. So we were like, Kylie's got to be happy with it because we're always going just further back into her
Hmm.
little, her idea, her Bible, rather than away from it.
Yeah, and I love the chemistry that you and that David and Evelyn have. So like, did you and Travis like have a lot of time to bond before you guys started shooting, or was it a shorter window? Because I know he said that he had like about 2 or 3 weeks to be able to learn like the basics of how to play the guitar.
Yeah. So I got the job 6 weeks out from filming. So in that 6 weeks, I had to dye my hair from red to blonde. So that was
Oh.
fun. During that time, I got a lot of chance to delve into the book and the script. And we also did a few chemistry tests with a few other people.
Mhm.
Um, Travis and I actually met up before I had even put down any audition tape. He and I met up because we were both on the Gold Coast and we went over the script and kind of what we thought, what it would sound like, what it would be like. We read opposite each other just to kind of get an idea. And then I ended up getting, after my first tape, I got an offer.
Mhm.
I accepted it, and then I had chemistry tests with three people, and he was one of them.
All right.
Oh, yeah, we did meet up. So we met up before I auditioned and before he auditioned. And then once he got the role, we met up once or twice just to read through a few scripts, talk about comfortability with things.
Yeah,
How do we
that's
feel
always good.
about this? There are a few sex scenes. Like I think in the original script, there was a blowjob scene that ended up not making the final
Hmm.
script. It was in the book. And that was something that I wasn't like super comfortable with anyway. So like that was something that I'm kind of glad didn't make it there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, we did catch up a couple times.
Yeah, he told me. Yeah, he told me that the book obviously is a little bit spicier, so it was so the film was a little bit tamer, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because I think your love scenes were just fine the way they are. Like I didn't see anything wrong with what I saw. Like I thought it was fine. So it's nice that you had that moment where you guys were able to sit down and talk about those things before you went into filming. But did you have anything that you found to be challenging about this role? Like what was the hardest thing? Like was this your first time doing an American accent, or had you done American accents before in any other projects?
Well, I'm a dual Australian American citizen. So my
Okay.
mom is from San Diego,
Okay.
and my whole family live on the West Coast. So from Stockton down to San Diego, up actually all the way up to Idaho. I've got cousins in Idaho. So I have family scattered all around the state. So for me to be able to flip in and out of American accent, considering that the person um who raised me has an American accent, it's very easy. All I have to do is call my mom and hear how she says things, and it comes out pretty easily. It was my first time being the lead on something, which meant that I was in 102 of 104 scenes. So it was an absolute marathon. There was no downtime. I had to know all of my lines and make sure that I was on the ball at all times. And like that was honestly not that like it was challenging in a way that I hadn't done it before, but I loved it. I lived for it. It fueled my soul. It made me so happy. And it really wasn't that challenging. The thing that I probably found the most challenging was the intimate scenes because I hadn't done it
Hmm.
before and it was a whole new concept for me to work out how it's done and realize because obviously as an actor when you read lines and you do a script, you're like, oh, okay, this is like that, and that's you can kind of put it together how it's going to be before you
Hmm.
get there. But having never done any kind of intimate scenes before, I had no idea what to expect until literally pretty much the first time that we were like, okay, this is we're going to about to do the scene. We need to talk through what we're going to do for it. So, yeah, that was definitely quite challenging. Um, but I can say that I think I'm over it now. So if I got another one, I'd be pretty comfortable with what to do.
You're like,
From
I nailed it. Done.
We had such an incredible intimacy coordinator. Her name was Ash, and just made us feel incredibly comfortable. Which is probably, I say our chemistry has comes down a lot to how good she was at her job, being able to make us feel comfortable enough that we were able to go to those places with one another, um, in a way that was respectful to each other.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
another question, a fun one. Have you,
Yes.
because we know that because Brooke, because Evelyn doesn't remember what happened. Like she doesn't. So David takes her through memory rehab. Have you ever had to give yourself memory rehab on anything before?
Memory rehab. Honestly, I am so boring. I don't drink that much.
Me either.
Like I might have two or three glasses of wine in that's like a big night for me. So
Mhm.
I am trying to think about no, I could not tell you the last time I was blackout because it would be I could
Same.
maybe one
Never.
time in my life and I don't even know when that was, but I'm sure it's happened once. But I can say I'm far more responsible than Evelyn in that way.
You're like, nope. I want to remember things. Thank you. Okay.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
my last question for you, because I asked Travis this too, because I was telling him that when you guys do the scenes in Monterey, I love the way that they played out because like you could feel the calmness, and I said it almost like comes off as a honeymoon period for for Evelyn and David. But when he says that he has to go back to Los Angeles, and then of course all the drama unfolds when they get back there with the high school that stuff, the drama over there.
Yes.
So I said I felt the fast paced moment of it, and I said I felt like the chaos. And he was telling me that you guys did that in one long shot. So I was just wondering, like, if you yourself, like, when you were filming that, felt the chaos of that moment while you were in it.
Which scene are you referring to? The
The
whole
scene
part
where
of
after during the concert, like when she runs into
Oh,
when she's trying to get into the door to see
yes.
David, and then
Yes.
the
Yes.
brother's
So
like, "You're not going in there."
we shot that all in one take. So from when the concert finishes and she walks across the stage, she has an interaction with Mal, an interaction with Ben. She sees what happens with Martha. She storms away. They have that interaction. Then she walks over to Adrian, says, I want to leave. Sam comes and he says, are you ready? And she says, yes. That entire thing was in one shot. They ended up cutting it up with a few other things, but we shot it in one continuous take, which meant that it was difficult, but I loved it so much because I got to start with like confusion and then like that moment with Mal and then the meeting Ben, but him being kind of weird and being like, I'm what's going on? And then the whole realization, the fight, and then the decision of I'm done with this. And that's such a huge like it's a big task to take on all of that. When they first said, I remember when Louise was like, okay, we're gonna do it all in one take. I was like, what? What? Oh my, okay. I was like, that's one, a lot of lines and things I need to get my head around. But also I was like, how am I gonna ride this roller coaster? And I settled into the character and I just I let it sit and just let myself live it rather than like think about it too much. And I think it played off really well.
It did.
Did that answer the question? What was the question?
Yes. No. It answered the question very well. No, you answered my question perfectly. That
But
was great.
I loved filming it all in one take. I really enjoyed the challenge of that. And you know, it's an interesting observation that you said about the Monterey House because
Mhm.
I think that was our second week of filming, and we were at that Monterey House for the longest time. out of all of the locations that we shot at.
Mhm.
And I think that all of the crew, because it was mostly just Travis and I for a lot of it, but we did have a few other people. But all of the cast and crew were happiest in that location as well. It was just such a beautiful house. It had a really
It's
beautiful
beautiful.
vibe, and we had like good little lunch breaks all together, like out by the pool. And I think that that calmness, while it did obviously come from the script and it came from where the characters were at in the script, it also was it was overflowing into the real life because everybody on set was just quite happy and calm, and it was very easy to shoot there. So that's an interesting observation.
Well, thank you. And I thank you so, so much for taking the time to talk to me today because I know with holidays and everything, there's busyness everywhere, all day, every day. So thank you again and congratulations on Lick and have a great Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Great. Thank you so much.
You. Bye.
Bye.